ABC. Letterman rejected ABC, but they want you to take the 11:30 slot. What do you say? And secondly, part of that question is, was the whole issue with the 11:30 and Ted Koppel, did it mean anything? Was it an important issue or not?
Well, I've had offers from all of the networks to go over there. But I stayed at Fox because I have much more freedom at Fox than I would have at the other networks. It's just set up. Number one, Roger Ailes would never come into my office. I mean, it never happens. He's afraid to come in. I mean, we have creatures in there. We have stuff in there. But he's not an interfering kind of guy, you know, and I would rather have less money at Fox with no freedom to do what I want than to go over at NBC or ABC at CBS, where they have meetings about everything. Everything's a meeting. Got to have a meeting about it. Oh, God. The Nightline thing was very interesting because there's a big change going on in America in the media. And I don't know whether you address it at the Kennedy School or not, but the old stuff is out. It's gone. Because people know the story now by the time 6:30 rolls around and Jennings broke on Rathercombe. I remember I used to be, when I was at BU, I lived over in Cambridge, and I snuck into Lincoln's Inn. You know, you guys at the law school know Lincoln's Inn? All right, I told them I was at the Harvard Law School, and those pinheads believe anything. So I got to eat at Lincoln's Inn and I was, you know, a barbarian. I was just walking around. But every night they'd run down and watch Walter Cronkite. I mean, all these guys would run down. That never happens anymore. Maybe they still do it, but, you know. The world has changed. So you know your information, if you're interested at all, by the computer, by All News Radio, and by the 24-hour cable TV. So you know it already. So why are you staying up to midnight to see Ted pretty much tell you what you already know? Now, yes, they've done very good work, Congo war and this thing, but how many people in America care about the war in the Congo? Can I have a show of hands here, please? Does anybody care about the war in the Congo? 5 guys. Okay. That means your Nielsen rating is 0. All right, you get nobody. So they have to change. Koppel has to change. And he can do it. This is what I mean about being timid. Ted Koppel's twice as smart as I am. I've covered a lot of stuff. I've been in 56 countries. He's done 4 times as much as I've done. All right? He could do a news analysis show. He could come on at 11:30 and go, damn it, this is what I think, Ted. And people would listen. People would listen. Okay? And he's got the credibility to do it. Why doesn't he do it? Why? Because once you do that, you throw yourself up to people who don't like you, are going to call you names, they're going to come down, and they don't want the hassle. They don't want the hassle. So Koppel would rather sit there in his chair, do the interview. He does them very well, but it's over. It's over. People have seen it, and they want more stimulating program to stay up to midnight. It's as simple as that.
Mr. O'Reilly, it's a pleasure, actually, to be here in person and get to see you. I watched your show, and I wouldn't have missed this for the world.
You sure you go to Harvard?
Don't hail from up here. I'm actually a physician who's at the Harvard School of Public Health, and just your unbridled enthusiasm on your show and your candor, it really brings a new light, and it's refreshing, especially in the media.
Thank you.
I'd like to ask you a question as an American. I lament the fact that we're very short-lived and short-sighted, and I think we forget a lot of things. And you championed very much about securing our borders and said it was not a very political correct thing to do. Can you kind of elaborate on what's happened with that and, you know, if you're still championing that?
Okay. They are sending troops to the border. And that's solely, I think, because of the factor, because nobody else, and I mean nobody else, in the media would touch it, and very few politicians would. In fact, I had an interesting shootout with John McCain when we were in Arizona. And he said, oh, no, we can't militarize the border. It's offensive to Hispanic Americans. We can't do it. Well, he came back on the program 3 weeks ago and said, you were right, O'Reilly. You were right, okay? We have to do it now. Because it's a national security thing. Remember this. The federal government's mandate is to protect us, okay? That's their #1 job, protect us. You can't have 3 million people doing the samba across the border every year. And that's exactly what's happening. I mean, these guys go, hey, how you doing? How you doing? Come on. Come on. What other country in the world does this? I mean, nobody wants to get into China. Yeah, they got guys everywhere. They got guys everywhere. Nobody wants to get in. All right? They got guys everywhere. All right? India. Who wants to go to India? I mean, and stay. All right? Nobody. They got Indians everywhere. You're not coming in here. Good. Thank you. All right? Here, everybody wants to come here. Everybody. We have one, what was it, one Border Patrol agent for every 300 miles in Canada. All right? Moose are coming down. Hey, there's no problem. We're going to get out of Minneapolis and have a party tonight. And then we'll go right back and no one will know. Does this make any sense at all to anybody? But no, we can't have the military because it might offend somebody. Hey, it's offending me that we have people coming in with narcotics. I'm offended. All right? People come in to blow us up. I'm offended. Ugh.
Thank you.
My name is Rodney Renan. I'm from Long Island, New York.
Don't ever admit that in public.
Hey, it's the best place to be, I think. Anyway, I was wondering if you believe Yasser Arafat actually wants peace. And secondly, what are the Israelis trying to accomplish by putting a tank basically in his living room?
Well, look, I just heard tonight that Yasser Arafat is going to do a remake with Yoko Ono of Give Peace a Chance. Big album, CD. Come on. Yasser Arafat doesn't want peace. He's in it for Yasser Arafat. The reason he didn't sign the Barack thing, as I said, was because they thought they'd kill him. So he's there. He doesn't have much power. There's a debate on whether they should deport him and get rid of him and then bring someone else in, but there isn't anybody else. Look, that situation is so out of control right now that even I can't solve it, all right? I don't even know what to do. And basically, you got these fanatics who want to kill the Jews. They don't want peace, they just want to kill the Jews. So what do? I mean, you can't let them do that. You can't. And then you got Sharon who, he's got his own axe to grind. I mean, But I think what will happen is there will broker some kind of ceasefire. It'll have to happen. But whether it's not going to stick. It's like the Northern Ireland thing.
Hey, Mr. O'Reilly, my name is Jared Wasserman. I'm a senior at the college. Along these same lines, do you think Bush, in this situation, has stepped back from that straight arrow right and wrong stance when dealing with Palestinian terrorists versus terrorists in the rest of the world?
It's hard for me to say because I don't know. I can't. First of all, the Bush administration wanted anything to do with this. All right? Whereas Clinton was really engaged in this thing. Bush came in and said, look, let's just stay away from that. All right? Because it is a quagmire. It's a quagmire and a no-win situation. But, that policy wasn't good because things are rapidly out of control now. I think the UN has got to take a strong stance, put the UN peacekeepers in there, just like they did in Bosnia and all of this, and try to separate them. But I think Bush just wants it to go away. Now it's not going to go away, so he's got to deal with it, but I don't think he has a passion for it. I know he doesn't.
Hi, I'm James Morgan. It's a pleasure to meet you. There was an article in this Sunday's New York Times, and it was listing the European community's reaction to the acts of terrorism in Israel. And basically, it summarized, it condemned the Israeli response to the terrorist activities. I wanted to know if you thought that there was a bias in European...
Bias in Europe? No.
Well, why?
Because they're pinheads. I mean, these people... I mean, look, say you're in Belgium, all right? There's nothing to do in Belgium, all right? So you're sitting around, and, 5 guys come on Belgian television, oh, yes, the Israeli... They live in a world that's totally divorced from the rest of the world. We have trouble with these people in Europe all the time, trying to convince them that there is evil. Talk about moral relativism. My God. And if you look at the history of Europe, I mean, the amount of horrible, terrible things that have taken place just in this little area where it's something in the water. That's all I can say. But Americans make the mistake. They don't like us. Generally speaking, all right? We're just way too much for them. We're obnoxious, we're loud. If you go over to Europe, you see Americans in the yellow and orange pantsuits, and that enough. If I live in over there, I hate these people. And our culture takes over. It's our music, it's our movies. It's, America, America, America. It's like, That's why Osama bin Laden has the strength that he has, because he plays on it. These Americans are corrupting everything. Look at Puff Daddy. I mean, that's enough to get 15 guys to blow themselves up. Puff Daddy. All right? it's a cult. We have a culture here that's so free and it's so powerful that it just overpowers other people. And they link Israel to America. It's one and the same in their eyes. But I got to tell you, we can't let Israel get destroyed. And believe me, if we didn't prop them up, they would kill them. And all the Europeans, believe me, if we pulled out of there, no more aid to you, nothing, we're not going to send any weapons to you, no more, goodbye. So, the Arab nations would go in there and they destroy them, just as Hitler tried to do. And the Europeans wouldn't lift a finger to help them.
Okay. My name's Andy Latinsky, and I'm a sophomore at the college. In the past 18 months, approximately 2,000 Israelis and Palestinians have died in the conflict. And on every front page and on your show, we talk about the fairness with the Israeli side and the Arab side. But in those same 18 months, 3 million Africans have died of a preventable disease, AIDS. And I'm wondering why that is never talked about, and how do we get that back on the American agenda?
Right, that's a good question. I'm going to try to be politically correct a little bit here, okay? Africa is out of control. Is that politically correct? All right? That whole continent's out of control. So Americans who pay attention know that. They know that. So you're right. AIDS, crazy. But are you going to go over there and put the condom on the guy? Okay? Are you going to do that? Because the guy doesn't want to wear the condom. You can send all the condoms you want over there. He doesn't want to wear it. Because in his little village or whatever, you're not a man if you wear a condom. Okay? So he's not going to wear it. So this is what you're dealing with. How do you get through? How do you change behavior when life expectancy is 36? Life expectancy in Botswana is 36. These guys say, hey, I'm going to die in 5 years. I'm going to do what I want. Stuff your condom. Okay? It's not, let's see, I've been to Africa 3 times. All right? You can't bring Western reasoning into the culture. The same way you can't bring it into the fundamental Islam. You can't say, look, okay, we're going to send all this over. We're going to put all these announcements in. Have to change your behavior. I mean, in San Francisco, they haven't even changed their behavior. I mean, come on. There are certain problems that are indigenous. They got to help themselves. We can't force them. We send gazillions of dollars over there, and unfortunately, most of those dollars are stolen or wasted because behavior isn't going to change, and we can't force them to change.
Final question. My name is Ryan Friedrichs. I'm a Kennedy School student. My question is, over the last 40 years, we've seen a sharp drop-off in the number of voting young people, number of voters across the board, and I'm curious as to what you think the major cause of that is, and whether the hardball sort of politics that news analyst shows put out there gets more young people into politics or turns more young people off from politics.
Well, the reason that people aren't more engaged in public life is 2 reasons. Number one, selfishness on the part of the person. We live in a culture where you never have to leave your house now. You got your little computer, you got your TV, you can order in, they'll come and bring you food. You don't have to leave. You never have to leave. I've been staying in my house forever. All right? You can work from home. You can do everything. Email. Yeah, nobody talks on the phone anymore. But that's why nobody can speak English, including the president. They're emailing. They can't speak. They don't know how to speak. Selfishness. All right? It's all about me. It's all about me. All right? So why do I care who the mayor... If you go to Los Angeles and ask who the mayor is, nobody knows. Nobody knows. The mayor. 22% of the vote. 22% turned out for the mayoral. They don't know who it is. Mayor. Ellen DeGeneres, right? No. Okay? So, you got a mindset in America where you're constantly barraged with things that you want to do. It's everywhere. Whereas it used to be 50 years ago, you had to go outside to have some fun. Now you don't have to go outside. Get the porno channel. You used to have to go out for sex. You don't have to go out anymore. It's there. All right? Everything's inward. Inward, inward, inward. To pay attention, to look at the issues. I mean, you guys here at the Kennedy School, this is what you do. This is why you're here paying your $25,000 or whatever they're charging you. All right? You're analyzing, you're looking, you're interested. But most of America isn't. They're not. Number one, they're exhausted from going to work and doing what they have to do. They're taxed up to here. The kids are running around. Go to the soccer game. Oh, I got to the soccer game again. Okay? So it's them, it's them, it's them. They don't have time for the outside. And that's why you're seeing this. It's not like FDR, the fireside chats, everybody's on the radio, oh, yeah,